I am studying for the New York City Department of Building Site Safety Manager exam, and as part of my studying, I'm reviewing the content that is within the 1968 Building Code, Volume 2, and I left off with Reference Standard 15, which is chimneys and gas vents. This has 6 pages, and it's covering RS-15, chimneys and gas vents, and as you can see, there's quite a plethora of ANSI references. We got RS-15-1, National Fuel Gas Code. RS-15-2, Household Cooking Gas Appliances. A lot of references, ANSI references. 15-3, Standard Spec for mortar for masonry. I would imagine that's chimney, obviously related. RS-15-4, Specs for clay flue lining. RS-15-5, classifications for castable refractories. RS-15-6, specs for refractories for incinerators and boilers, as well as ground fire clay and refractory mortar for laying up fire clay brick. RS-15-7, specs for refractory for incinerators and boilers. RS-15-8, specs for chemical resistant masonry units. Then you have RS-15-8A, standard for chimneys, factory-built residential type, and building heating appliances. RS-15-9, standard for low-heat appliance chimneys with high temp test added. RS-15-10, standard for medium heat appliance factory-built chimneys. RS-15-11, factory-built chimneys. RS-15-2, standard for more factory-built chimneys. 15-13, standard for gas vents. 15-14, standard for chimneys, fireplaces, vents, and solid fuel-burning appliances. Reference standard RS-15-15, factory-built fireplaces. And we have 15-16, chimney liners. And that looks like that's it for 15. So now we go to plumbing and gas. I hate when it blips out like that. Plumbing and gas piping in reference standard 16. Oh my gosh, it's got 82 pages. You have a lot of ANSI standards within that genre. And no, I'm not going to do table of contents. It's giving you a reference for the rest of the let's just browse. You have the P101 General Provisions, P102 Materials, P103 Joints and Connections, P104 Plumbing Fixtures, P105 Traps and Cleanouts, P106 Hangers and Supports, P107 Water Supply and Distribution, 108 Sanitary Drainage Piping, P109 Vent Piping, P110 Storm Drainage Piping, P111 Indirect Waste Piping, P112 Special and Miscellaneous Waste Piping, P113 Individual Sewage, P114, hospital and institutional plumbing. P115, gas piping. P116, swimming pools and display pools or fountains. And then we have a list of tables with an index, which are quite a few. And obviously you have the definitions there. List of illustrations. It's like a lot of definitions. Everything. Plumbing and pipe related. I'm going to skip down because I'm not going through 82 pages, and I don't think. Let's go to 80. Reference. It's giving you content at the end. The last. It's the index, as it said. Okay. Moving past. We have fire alarms, detection and extinguishing equipment. This one is 54 pages. I'm not gonna go through everything. We'll skim it. Is that the ANSI references? 17.1 standpipe system construction. 17.1.1 required ratings of pipe and fittings valves according to the height of the building. And some schematics. The riser systems. (17.2) got standard for the install of sprinkler systems. So you got sprinklers in here too. Have some tables. Pressure tanks. All related to the fire alarm genre. Everything, the straps support, for the piping. Piping schedule. 17-2A standard for the install of sprinkler system in residential occupancies up to including 6 stories. 17.2. Did I miss a section? 17.2b standard for the install of sprinkler systems in 1- and 2-family dwellings and manufactured homes. (17.3) standards for install of fire sprinkler, standpipe, smoke detection, oxygen, nitrous oxide, and other alarm and extinguishing systems. Primary and secondary power source. Sending stations, alarm devices. Automatic system, fire detecting, wiring. (17.3a) standards for the install of Class E, Class C, Class J fire alarm signal systems. Sound alarm, alarming sounding systems, display. 17-3C, standards for the install of visual and auxiliary alarms required. There's some that are repealed. 17.5, National Fire Alarm Code. So chart on room spacing allocation. Have some repealed sections that I'm not even going to bother to read. It looks like from 17-5A to 5D is repealed. 17.5E is for automatic fire detectors. 17.6 threaded fittings, which are cast iron. 17.6A valves and related products for fire alarm. 17.7 deductible iron, gray iron fittings. 17.8 rubber gasket joints. 17.9 specs on pipe fittings. 17.10 water tanks for fire protection. 17.11 single and multi-station smoke detectors. 17.12 standard install, maintenance, and use of household fire warning equipment. 17.13 single and multi-station carbon monoxide. Carbon monoxide for 17.14 as well. It looks like the last section is 17.14 in this section, which is standard 17. We got elevators and conveyors, which we have 36 pages. Elevators, ANSI references, or 18.1, safety code. Some codes for a lot of the components that make up elevators and escalators. Counterweight material. You got fire alarm, of course, in the pit and within the cab. A lot of rules on that. Hospital for elevator recall. When you discontinue out of service of escalators. Braking, inspection, testing, freight, tagging, general requirements, limitations on load and speed, signs at the landings. It's like tagging. The right way to tag. Reference standard 18.3, safety requirements 18.4, loading dock levelers and dock boards 18.5, safety standards for conveyors. (18.6) console for stage lift. 18.7 safety requirements for personnel hoists. 18.18 power operated scaffolds. It's interesting that scaffold is in that section. Probably because I'm thinking of the exterior find that interesting. Travel cable. Oh, those are very unique. I had to purchase them for a job I was managing. 18.9, standard for belt man lifts. 18.10, amusement devices. Talks about amusement in that realm, so to speak, within the amusement world. Testing for permanent devices. Design and construction. Load tests. Control and operation. That looks like the end of reference 18. Alright, getting closer. I hate that when you go to click it, it disappears on me. Safety 19. Safety of public and property during construction operations. RS 19. Safety of public and property during construction operations. 19.1, power actuated fastening systems. It's my favorite thing to do, the old shotgun. 19.2, power operated cranes and derricks. Ah, that was a test question. Looks like some definitions. Yep. Has 18 pages in this section. Loading chart, inspections, testing, maintenance. This is all cranes and derricks. This big section on it. Yes. Rope maintenance, blocking features, safety devices, tower cranes and climber cranes. Operation, anchoring, guying. Load handling, attaching load, moving load, holding load. Even got ballast and or counterweight. Electrical, storage, refueling. 19.3, cableways. 19.4, safety nets. And that is the end of that section. So the last one, the peruse, is Appendix A, selected rules for the Department of Building. Oh, 166 pages. Well, rules and regulations. You know, we're not skimming through this whole thing. Looks like signs for the rigging and sign hanging foreman. What a certificate of fitness looks like. Why don't they have the cheat sheet? Drums for derrick load, boom hoist, elevator, escalator. Emergency power systems. Adjudications. Let me guess, 14 is fees? Yes. Okay, so this mirrors 2014. Actually, no, sorry. The rules, the RCNY, rules of the City of New York. I'm pretty sure. Fire protection. Getting old sucks. So it kind of mirrors this, which is good. It's helpful. So you have to